What's going on, everybody? Bryan Power back with you. This is the Power 5 for Week 12 of the college football season, and boy, do I have a show for you today. Stop the presses, because I am going to recommend not just one, but two favorites for Saturday. Very rare for me indeed, but regular viewers need not fret. There is a double-digit favorite I'll be selling on in the SEC. But first, as we always do here on the Power 5, we start by opening up the WagerTalk.com live odds screen to see how the market is moving. And these are the biggest line moves we've seen in college football this week. All numbers current as of Thursday afternoon, which is when we are recording this. Appalachian State, they are down to +9 against unbeaten James Madison, who was just shamelessly denied a waiver by the foolish NCAA, I might add. You got to think the Dukes might be a bit perturbed by that, and who knows? We'll see if they can tell the market that they were wrong come Saturday afternoon. Purdue, they just told the market they were wrong last Saturday. They waxed Minnesota last week, a play I wish I'd been on. Minnesota actually closed as a road favorite there after that game opened as a pick'em. But now Purdue, they're road favorites, out to -3 at surprising Northwestern. And in one that shapes up to be the biggest game of Week 12, Oregon State is now out to -2.5 against unbeaten Washington. So that's two unbeaten teams bettors are looking to fade this week, the Huskies and JMU. All right, let's move to sell high. Remember, this section, we're looking for a team that we think is on an unsustainable run and or just plain overvalued. Last week, we sold high on Oklahoma State. I'd say that worked out pretty well, didn't it? Cowboys lost 45-3 at UCF as 2.5-point road favorites. This week's sell high team is going to be Missouri, who is laying double digits at home to Florida a week after shocking a lot of people, myself included, by trouncing Tennessee 36-7. Now, I did a free game preview here on WagerTalk TV for that Tennessee-Missouri matchup and said to take the under. So the final score definitely pleased me, but I was not anticipating Mizzou holding Tennessee to just one touchdown and 350 total yards. Keep in mind, something I discussed in my preview, Missouri, in the previous two meetings with Tennessee, had allowed 128 points and 1,400 total yards. So give that Tigers defense credit for showing up in a major way against Tennessee. But now Missouri comes in ranked number 9 by the College Football Playoff Committee. That's too high. Who believes Missouri's the 9th best team in the country? And this spread is too high against Florida, for that matter. When these teams met last year in Gainesville, Florida was a double-digit favorite. They didn't cover, but they won 24-17. And this is going to be just the second time ever that Missouri is favored to beat Florida, and their lone win in the series over the last 4 years, that came by just a single point in overtime. So I'm saying to sell high on Missouri this week, which means you should consider taking the 11 with Florida. Buy low. Here we're looking for a team that's undervalued or perhaps due for a turnaround. Last week, I gave out Texas Tech +3.5 in this spot. All they did was go to Kansas and win outright. For this week, let's look at Mississippi State. Now, a 14-point favorite qualifying for our buy low spot may seem kind of odd, but consider this. My power ratings say the Bulldogs should be -17, at least closer to -17, against Southern Miss this week in Starkville. In case you hadn't heard, Mississippi State just fired its head coach after less than one season. Zach Arnett was not a good fit here after the tragic passing of Mike Leach. He was trying to move away from the air raid that Leach, of course, had installed to more of a pro-style offense, and the results were largely disastrous, as Mississippi State had topped 17 points in just one SEC game all season and scored a combined 33 points in their previous 4 games. But it's not an SEC team that they're facing this week, guys. It's Southern Miss, who I still have power rated in the bottom 15 in the country despite back-to-back wins over Louisiana Monroe and Louisiana Lafayette. The Golden Eagles have given up 44 or more points in half their games this season. With Mississippi State off a coaching change and needing to win out in order to get bowl eligible, they are this week's buy low team at -14. Who are you looking to buy low and sell high on this week? Go ahead and let me know down below in the comments section. I'll be glad to respond all the way through Saturday. While you're at it, if you'd be so kind, feel free to smash that like button and give the Power 5 a thumbs up. We now move to our stat of the week, where we're going to focus in on Rutgers, Penn State. Now, some may be looking at this as a flat spot for Penn State off the loss to Michigan last week that, in effect, just ended all of Penn State's hopes and dreams this season. But we all know that while James Franklin can't beat top 10 opponents, he likes to beat up on lesser ones. And if you are looking to take Rutgers, here's what you need to be concerned about. Over the last 10 meetings against Penn State, the Scarlet Knights have scored a grand total of, wait for it, 49 points. That is an average of 4.9 per game. The most they've scored in any of those 10 games was 10. And over the last 6 quarters of action, coming into this Saturday, Rutgers has scored a grand total of 7 points. Could be tough sledding Saturday for the team from Piscataway. Now, it won't be tough sledding for the team that is my 5% max bet in college football on Saturday. You can pick that play up right now, as well as my complete 6-game card for Saturday at WagerTalk when you visit wt.buzz/BP. And you can save $50 off a 30-day all access as well. To do that, all you need to do is use the coupon code ALL30. That's ALL30 at checkout. Note, things trending in a very positive direction as of late. I've won 5 of the last 6 days entering Thursday. And that brings us to our power play of the week, where, believe it or not, I am going to recommend a second favorite this week. I got a little speechless, a little tied up, because I can't believe I'm doing it myself. It's pretty rare for the Power 5 that we give out 2 favorites. Wyoming, minus 13.5 at home versus Hawaii. And what you need to know here is Hawaii is coming off a rather stunning 27-13 win over Air Force as 20.5-point home underdogs. That followed another upset win as a 3.5-point road dog against a terrible Nevada team. But the Warriors were pretty fortunate to pull the upset last week. They were +4 in turnovers, and Air Force lost starting quarterback Zach Larrier to an injury in the first quarter. That's pretty key when you're talking about a triple option offense, guys. Air Force still outgained Hawaii 315 to 297. But one of those 4 turnovers was a fumble return for a touchdown by Hawaii. But now the Warriors, they go from sea level out on the island to Laramie, which is the highest elevation in all of the FBS. It's a noon start time locally, which means 9 a.m. Hawaii time. Wyoming's a perfect 6-0 straight up at home this year. They should be in a surly mood following last Friday's loss at UNLV. The Cowboys laying 13.5. I wouldn't lay more than 14. They are your power play of the week, and that does it for the Power 5 for Week 12 of the college football season. Follow me on X, it's formerly Twitter, at Bryan Power _wins, and make sure, if you already aren't, to subscribe to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. I'll be dropping the NFL version of the Power 5 in the next 24 hours. Until then, let's cash some tickets.